All right, this is my first foray into well, videos put on YouTube anyway. Today, what I'm going to talk about is basically the Mudslinger Classic, the race that happened at Eldora last night. Yes, I went. I sat in turn one. I've been around dirt racing pretty much all my life. My father raced. I know quite a bit about the sport. I even sponsor a few cars. Well, one in particular at Oakshade Raceway. And an interesting fact is Jeff Babcock races at Oakshade. He had a truck for that race and actually made it. And that was pretty neat to see. He had some engine problems, but he was moving up there towards the end of the first segment, which was 60 laps. So that was kind of cool. And I do plan on having him autograph the back of this. Not often, you get to see a local guy run with them. The thing about dirt track racing, especially Eldora, is it's nothing like asphalt. There's nothing like it. And I can see where a lot of the drivers didn't have time to prepare for it. You saw that if you watched the race. Eldora is a highline track, always has been, probably always will be. When the cushion's not up high in the corner, you can run the bottom. But during feature time, around that time especially, when the cushion gets pushed up by the wall, that's where you want to run. The slide jobs are pretty much the only way to pass at that point. You saw some drivers trying to mix it up, and they tried. I'll give them credit. They were trying to get that bottom worked in, but when the track's that dry, that slick, the cushion's all the way up there and it's taking rubber, the bottom line is just a no-go. You've got to carry the momentum through. It's a lot like Darlington. I was thinking about that last night. You've really got to carry the momentum through the corner, and you just got to hope that the car in front of you gives you that little inch of room to get up there. And some people made the slide job work, and for some it wasn't as good. Just a tough race in general. There was a lot of passes up front. There was a lot of good racing in the middle of the field, but it just seemed like there were only really a few guys that I wouldn't say knew what they were doing, but were used to that style of racing. Ken Schrader, he did pretty well. Austin Dillon did excellent. That was a really good run by him. The number 30 car, and I can't think of his name, and Ryan Newman did really well. But anyway, my overall thoughts on the race were it was not great in the sense of the pit stops. If anybody's ever been to the Little 500 down at Anderson Speedway, and you've seen how they do it, there's no reason that they could not have done regular pit stops at Eldora Speedway. That is what killed anybody's chance of moving up in that race. And when you have a track like Eldora, where it's the high line, it's tough to pass. If you're going to run a race like that, you need those pit stops to count for something. And you've seen that. Their drivers had no chance to move up. None. That's the worst thing about segment racing. It's the first run there. We'll see what happens. I know I would hope to see the other series get in there and put them on dirt. That would be fun to see. I don't know if we'll see it with NASCAR, even though I think it's going to happen. One thing is seating capacity. And I'm majoring in sports management, so that's a huge thing. And I think that's what's going to deter the Sprint Cup Series from coming in. If they can't sell enough tickets, it's not going to work for them. I mean, you look at the Busch Series and the trucks, the stands are empty. And I'm not taking anything away from them. It's just they're good drivers, they're good racers. It's just so much more of the fans than anything. For me personally, some of the best drivers in the world are on the dirt tracks. It's not in NASCAR. They're great drivers, but I would not go as far as calling them the best in the world. That's just my opinion. But anyway. But I did manage to get a few cool things. I see what a lot of people do, and I bought some souvenirs, and I figured I'd just share them. They were a little bit of money, but I think they're kind of cool. I'm a huge sprint car guy, and there's normally about 4 names that come to mind when I think of sprint cars. That's Ken Mackey. If anybody's been to Eldora Speedway in Quincy, Michigan, that guy's awesome. Hank Lauer, he's run everywhere, number 37. Then you got Steve Kinzer and Sammy Swindell. Actually, hang on one second, I forgot something. First one I'm going to show you is it's the original Quaker State car for Steve Kinzer. It's actually 18 of 3,500 pretty much. If you can see that, I don't know. And it's 1/18 scale, and it's a pretty nice collector item, I think. I'm fascinated by sprint cars. I always wanted to race one, especially when I was younger. My mother was like, no, and my father said, hell no. But he raced late models and everything. But my mother basically said if I ever raced one of these, she would not watch. Yeah. Kind of a neat little, I like it. I think it's pretty cool. The next one here is a late model. Not many people are popular of Scott Bloomquist. I've never met him. I'm one of those people that I can't judge anybody, especially if I don't know you, especially if I've never met you. So there's mixed emotions about this guy, but he's hands down one of the best late model drivers ever. And I've always been impressed by his body style. And the weird thing about this is the stands at Eldora Speedway. Some were trying to sell this car for 90 bucks. I went to another stand and got it for 70. The same exact car. And I believe what the lady told me was that is his new body style. And the detail on these things is just completely amazing. Wheels turn, the shocks. I think that's just amazing, the detail they're putting into these nowadays. And the hood comes off. And that's pretty neat to me. Even the tailgate here. But yeah, even the spoiler is removable. I actually have another one down here. You can actually take it off. They look the same. And I don't want to break it. So, maybe one day. Maybe one day this will be worth more than what I paid for it. And there's people that are willing to pay $150 for this car, but I'm not looking to flip it. I think it's just, overall, the guy just has an awesome body style, design. I've always liked it, regardless of what anybody saw to him. Like I said, I don't know the guy. Next thing I got, I like Bass Pro Shops. I love fishing. It's one of the best things to do. I fish a lot, probably more than I should. Yeah, probably more than I should. I actually broke this, because the wings, they actually come not attached. But this is Mark Kinzer. Yeah, Mark Kinzer. And while I was trying to put the top on, this piece right here, the steering, I'm sorry, I'm new to this. The steering, you can see where it's, right there. You see a whole steering arm is disconnected from the front one right there. But yeah, see that. But I still think it's kind of cool. This was $45. I got the Steve Kinzer for $100, and Scott Bloomquist for 69 bucks. So people be like, "Oh man, that's a lot of money." These are cool though. I haven't done many of my vacations. I normally do this here, so I was like, you know what? Maybe it's time I start collecting these. I'm never gonna race. I'm a disabled veteran. I messed up my back in Afghanistan. I've always wanted to race. I actually have a car. It's just doctors. It's a asphalt late model. I don't call it a late model because to me it's more of a sportsman. My idea of late model is UMP late models or the actual super late models they run on asphalt. If you've ever been to an actual super late model show, it's impressive. The sound, I just love the sound of them. But my heart's always been with sprint cars. Sometimes they're a pain to watch, especially the push starts and the wrecks, but it's just incredible. I'm planning on going to the Kings Royal next year first time. I hope that's fun. But anyway, I thank you for watching. I know it wasn't much of a review of the race. It was uneventful. But I'll be doing more videos. I'm a huge sports nut. I'll be doing some football ones. And any trolls out there, feel free to stay away. If you don't have anything good to say, I'm just going to get rid of you. All right? Have a nice night. I hope you enjoyed this. And if anybody was at Eldora last night, I hope you enjoyed the race.